Hello everybody, this is B-Scout100 and welcome back to some more Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, Turnabout Succession. In the previous episode, we had investigated the crime scene, the apartment of one Drew Misham, and, well, we discovered something interesting. Discovered that underneath all the paintings, the sketches were related to the cases that we were covering. Interesting. Well, in this episode, it's time to start the trial. If you like what you see, leave a like down below. Comment if you have anything to say. Subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends so they can join in on this investigation. Let's get started. October 8th, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 6. Good morning. So you're Vera, right? I'm Tracy Wright. That's right with a W, but not right. Right? We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please. Good morning. She speaks? Not bad. But I think you'd do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Suzie, let's take it easy for starters. Thank you for taking my case. Okay, well, that's a start, I guess. There she goes with the nail polish again. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Want to try? Oh, really? Girls. The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. Okay, guess we're getting thrown right in. October 8th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Well, where was that? Began to tell him. Is just okay? His voice so raspy and he's looking around all nervous like.
We're working with the today bar, most likely, we've been for a long time. And that would be although our legal system forever.
So he's a contest of the jury system. The first step towards a new order in our courts. Daddy's secret mission. The jurors will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurors in the courtroom? Through closed-circuit cameras, watch the courtroom at all times. The jurors have access to everything that transpires. Jurors, judge well and judge cool.
The mountain tree plan, though, Gavin. You're peeking the mic again. Listen to that crackle. Could you stop with the damn music? My phone's gonna play that.
My apologies there, Judge.
There, today, that's what they call poorly if you were to waste of time.
Jurors are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have.
Well, we're put together. This is the case as well.
Victim is the painter Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? None other than the defendant, Vera Misham. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Achong! Somebody's been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself.
Mug? Bah, where did you find out the murder, I think?
The autopsy report describes the manner of a victim's death. Oh, man. Crackle's not going away.
Parenthetic report. The victim's death was caused by equivocate poisoning.
Chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal damage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. Megagrams, really? Touch of atrocanine in the body. It's a touch of the Reaper's scythe.
Oh well, pesky rabbit. You'll protect the butler.
For today's simple mind for a simple case. Man who witnessed the murder in society.
Oh.
The journalist, no doubt. Witness will state his name and occupation. Ah, right. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Marshall. My job is a lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? If you don't mind, I'd like to say something here for the record.
What was it, Russell?
I just like conclusions, specifically the jumping to aspects of conclusions. Preconceptions make part sandbox of endless desert waste. End quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today as a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushell into that Mr. Brushell. End quote.
Let's hear your testimony then, shall we?
A simple case, Gavin. For me, the jury is still out. The journalist's story. I hate this guy. I hate voicing him. I hate his quirk. I just hate everything about him. I visited the studio around 9 o'clock that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the Altier. Journalist history made. End quote. Journalistic history made. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls. End quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time.
But that's all I can bump up cat. Unless you will want to bother them.
What are you saying, Judge?
We don't want to the cameras are bowling today. The first we need to be able to map.
Didn't do it, did you?
But
me do a thing like that? Come on. That's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Ugh, I hate this guy so much. Let's get him off the stand. Visited the studio around 9 o'clock to do the interview. Okay. Let's look at our evidence. Nope. Slow acting poison. That's probably going to be a thing. Red envelope. Hidden painting. Litter box. Tiny frame. Another portrait. How do I check? Oh, okay. So we don't have the 9 to 9:30 p.m. Okay. First outsider to enter the LTA. Journalist makes history. End quote. Whatever. I can't stand it. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls. End quote. Let's press him on this one. What's this about a star falling? Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money. Over. Sorry, you don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. Star falls. Get it? But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter? Oh boy, this is good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know. Star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies. Straight to the point. I like it. I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. The moment of death. About when Mr. Micham passed away. Oh boy, what a scene that was. Puts the coffee mug down with a crash, right?
Bottom done.
Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputtering fails.
So cold to the touch, he could do not but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, let's go. I think he's starting his article already. Could you describe that a little more simply? Well, as you could imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizure his final performance. End quote.
Trunk getting paralyzed in the central nervous system. Body arches back like a boa. The limbs tremble.
But then what's that? I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details.
Now you can listen to our last year's hit single, A Chokinine, My Love, by the Gavineers. Available at all major music outlets.
Funny that the victim died of killing one. Well, detective, how'd you find that testimony?
Not important. I think the moment of Mr. Misham's death would be important. Mr. Marshall's story didn't really tell us anything we didn't already know.
Oh well, please continue.
No one else entered the room besides her. Okay. Oh god. So you drink the coffee that Vera served you too? Of course. When someone serves you coffee, you drink it. That's what my old boss used to say. Never did get what he meant by it though. But you're still alive, which is to say you didn't die. Of course not. No point falling before you're a star. End quote. That's not exactly what I was getting at.
What you're getting at then? You know the poison on the rim was on the rim, not in the coffee.
Oh yes. There were 2 cups on the tray she brought, and one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side. No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess.
But that's certainly important.
Oops, didn't mean to. We're talking about the coffee the witness drank. I'd say it's important.
Well, please ask me to the testimony, Mr. Marshall.
I drank the coffee too, but I'm not dead yet. I don't think that's it. You're sure you drank the coffee? Oh yes, quite. I gulped it down. Felt that sweat squish my throat. But you say the victim took 1 sip and fell over, and you still kept drinking? Of course. Drink your coffee when it's hot, never when it's cold. Never when it's not. That's what my old boss used to say. Never really knew what he meant by it. Should I get him to talk about something else? Okay, let's try the moment of death again. Okay. You said it was immediate. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony.
The court requests the witness as a
The spasms. That was definitely death by poison. Huh. Slow acting, huh? What do we have to say about this? I may be doing too much, but I feel like the speed is... See that there? That's poison. Yeah. Don't lick it, Apollo. Don't worry, I'll be fine. No, you won't. You'll die. Look, I know. I meant I won't lick it. Who knows what you do when I'm not watching? Concern is touching, really. Next thing you know, she'll be telling me not to drink coffee before bedtime. Alright, what about the There's gotta be something. There's gotta be something with this one. You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure? Hey, look, I'm a journalist. I see lots of things. I've met more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye. End quote. Food poisoning doesn't count. Yes, get him to talk about something else. You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee? Of course. He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger. End quote. A living man sees dog eat dog and writes about it once. Yet? Just can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had 1 so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug. Drinks? End quote.
But poison is quite versatile out here.
His stomach did a so-called somersault. Since I gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. It's a so-called trick. I want to venture a guess for the record. Does this guy have to have a pause button?
What was the doctor? Did you find the testimony viable?
Very important, actually. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over. Oh yes, you can go to press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well, the witness will add the testimony. Again.
Vital, right? He had one sip, if that. The next moment, he was on the floor. This should be it. This should be it. Yes! Okay. That took a little longer than I expected, but I got it. You know... what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used. Atrocadine.
Well, Pastor Graham was quite clear about the poison. People don't have to but I'm paralyzed under to think that I knew Mr. Doctor would be reduced to a quelling pile.
Why are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information.
Well, that done?
Atrocadine is as virulent as he said, virulent? Whatever. As he says. But death doesn't come upon ingestion, no, not immediately. That's because atrocadine is slow acting.
Slow acting? What?
According to one forensic scientist, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slow. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would have to have time left to enjoy his last cup of joe.
What is the meaning of this? What is meant to comply? Why that's not to that the entire testimony we just heard?
Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. It was virulent, alright. Even then, it had already been digging into its claws into the journalist. He's working on his scoop. It's Brushel, yeah? Yeah, Brushel. Let's take a trip back down memory lane. Huh? The victim really died the instant he took a sip. Think it over, this is vital. You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion. End quote. I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I'll be forced to say Auf Wiedersehen to my simple case. And you will be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop? Scoop! Look, wait. Just wait a second. Just 1 second.
I'm waiting. Wrong with that.
I think I recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I heard of poison that tastes sweet time, see? Not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently.
What, a thing you don't supposed to explain what happened?
You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee.
Pour a bottle of water!
As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony. And Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. Of course I'm standing by my testimony. My dream of exclusive rights to the story. Suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Phoenix Wright, who else?
Chong here, Brushel. Report for us if you would. What is it you noticed?
The party's political time is our system. The brain number for that is permissible. You'll just like to report about what you've noticed.
What Brushel noticed? When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Bisham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
What's suicide note?
Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Bisham. But that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh.
Well, we're going to get my copy of the nation.
Really? Really? What if he was writing a suicide note? There was only one letter. He was not writing a suicide note. Oh, bullshit! Oh, come on! Think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? Fine. So he put the letter away when he saw you. Early reporter gets the winner, end quote. It's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrived 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? Mr. Bisham seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know his secret when I spot one, and that was it.
Don't think there's evidence. Well, Mr. Doctor?
I wonder. It does have the ring of something important. The defense find this testimony vital, Your Honor.
Very well, please get the testimony then.
Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. There's a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. Okay, fine. Fuck you, Brushel. It just so happens there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. What? Okay. Prosecutor Gavin.
Yes?
Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime?
Unfortunately, no. But her forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope.
I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already. 7 years ago. Can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to make sure that he wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of my sight or beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed it away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump?
Have you anything better witness to crime?
That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's impossible. That's impossible.
I like your expression. So full of confidence.
It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope with assistance of a forensic scientist.
What?
Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Oh? Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. I've been scooped!
Border! Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court?
Oh, my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old. Forgets lots, end quote. Of course this music starts to play. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put the letter in the envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote.
But I'm bored.
Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why yes, I saw him put his letter in the box. Yes, it was a yellow envelope. And he puts it in that box.
Well, apparently, it was nothing.
Oh, how I wish it did. Just think of a suicide note. What a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter. False. end quote.
As I was saying, there is nothing to do with the clip. That said,
Yes, Your Honor.
makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. Well, it's one of them, but their money.
This was from 7 years ago, ja?
So, am I finished here? Am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing. Why are we flashing? I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. Come on! Attorney has active imagination. Little else, end quote.
Even my dog's not doing as much as what they do for me. I'm trying to understand what all this proceeding stuff is about.
Judge has active imagination, end quote.
Please, continue with your testimony. Tell us about the pen of a story.
Hey, I'm the one asking questions here. Usually. Scent of a story. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leveraged his story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a case from 7 years ago. The red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
We're putting the good press with the story. That's why we brought you in. Blackmail?
Well, yes. No. It wasn't exactly. I'm not.
That's a bomb, Mr. Bartle?
Look. This is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood, end quote.
Nice. What's it?
Well, you had me chatting away in here. What's going on out there? What if some Wally Wadsworth or Sally Scooper gets the wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste.
The cop will do pay, Mr. Bartle. But that's it, let's pick up the pace.
Certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago? Do we have something on that? Okay. Alright, the bracelet is reacting. Still, do we have something from 7 years ago? Aside from the envelope. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter left his story. It's his interview. End quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. A certain case 7 years ago. Tell us, what case? Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Well, why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. He sounds pretty determined not to talk. Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good. The red envelope probably had something to do with it. On one hand, we have your story, and on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You're gonna pick them all apart? Be my guest. All of them? No. Just the incredibly suspicious ones.
But wait, anything else to add about Mr. Bassam?
Say what you will, but Drew's talent will not compare. Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh? Ooh, wee boy. Hey, he's a star, man, a star. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints light up studio like sun. End quote. This guy is full of wacky gestures. That one just now was wackier than usual. Looks kinda nervous to me, Apollo. Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what. The testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. All makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what the story he's talking about is. Must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Misham's art. The victim, Drew Misham, had an aversion to reporters. Boy, I guess not even my considerable charms did him much. I finally got my thumbs up at it, until I finally got my thumbs up, that is. Can elaborate on that for us for a bit. Reporter gets a story. Leverage a story, gets an interview, end quote. Exactly what sort of story was this? Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing in between, end quote. I might have suggested I had a lead on a particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or nothing, honest. So, a suggestion was enough to get an interview? Mr. Misham must have really wanted to keep it under the wraps. The story concerned a case from 7 years ago. Really? Really? Really, that's stupid. Oh, that is stupid. Really? That's the quirk? Gotcha! Would have taken me forever to find that. I was trying to think of something logical. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Yes, well, a man can't help his glands, you see. It's more than that. When it's Mr. Misham's talent, when Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. Evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Misham's true talent lay. It so happens that I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. First, it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone! Can we keep this private, please? It's my story, my scoop!
Alright, it's a fair time.
Drew Misham is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back.
Another what? Meaning Broadway?
Drew Misham was talented, alright. Talented at making precise, detailed fix. A talent that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago.
But 7 years ago? So, are we to understand that this letter, the payment of $100,000 for...
Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote.
Butter! But it's like a victim was living a double life.
Aha! This is my chance. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. My first time hearing of this criminal world. So we found no criminal connections when we conduct our investigation. But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. There is no proof tying this letter to our case. The case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey! The only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews.
Responsible for testimony to the point and bring pride unreliable. Doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen.
What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism is so solid you could send an elephant on it. End quote.
But anyway, the tale summarized recap of testimony. We're gonna ascertain the situation by speed up when the recap trial is over.
Hello, what's he talking about? The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushwood didn't have a reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera, that's what. His next testimony is our last chance.
Mr. Brushwood, your testimony, please.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna end it off here. That perceived section took a little bit longer than That was so stupid. I was trying to look for something logical. Maybe his nose or his eyes or the brush he was holding. Really? Armpit sweat? Ugh. Whatever. In the next episode of Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, Turnabout Succession, we are going to continue this trial and find out and have a recap about the interview. So, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.